Speculation over Lewis Hamilton's future has been ongoing since he missed out on the World Championship in Abu Dhabi last December. Mercedes were left furious after a decision made by Michael Massey to let the 5 lapped cars pass the safety car, allowing Max Verstappen to move closer to Hamilton and overtake him on the last lap. The team appealed the race result, but their case was dismissed. In December, Bernie Ecclestone claimed that Hamilton won't return to the sport and also detailed a conversation he had with the driver's father, Anthony. When asked if he'd spoken to Hamilton, the 91-year-old told Blick, "No, but a few days ago, with his father. I immediately felt he wouldn't answer a question about his son's future. So, we only talked about business." The former Formula One boss said, "I don't think he's coming back. His disappointment is too big, and you can somehow understand it. Now it would be time to tackle his dream of becoming a fashion entrepreneur with 7 world titles like Michael Schumacher." Ecclestone is an outspoken and often polarising figure in the world of F1. He showed this when, just days after Hamilton's Abu Dhabi disappointment, the business magnate suggested Hamilton didn't deserve his knighthood. Ecclestone said, "Only people who have really done something for the country should be knighted. I don't think many people who are knighted now really deserve it. They all make a lot of money and donate some to charity, and they haven't done anything specific for the country." The former Formula One chief also claimed Lewis Hamilton can't feel too hard done by due to the controversy in Abu Dhabi. He added, "Other team members were probably angry too, but Wolff was the only one to show it. If Mercedes don't win the championship retrospectively, he should at least get an Oscar for acting." About being robbed, it's complete and utter nonsense. If you want to think about it carefully, on the first lap of that race, Hamilton went off the circuit and came back on again, and Verstappen stayed on the circuit and did absolutely nothing wrong. Lewis wasn't punished at all for this, so he shouldn't be complaining too much. These things happen all the time in sports. We shouldn't blame the race director. He did exactly what was the right thing to do. This week, former world champion Mika Häkkinen claimed Hamilton will face an emotional struggle to return to Formula One. Former 2-time champion Häkkinen believes the 37-year-old Briton will not have lost any confidence and hopes the Mercedes star will still continue. Häkkinen feels Hamilton may go through a phase of not being able to accept a loss of competitiveness should this year's new Mercedes not bring him the success he largely enjoyed since joining the team in 2013. He said the regulations in Formula One have dramatically changed. It's going to be a completely new machine, and the chances are that the designers might not find an optimum machine. If that happens to Lewis, it's going to be really hard for him to accept. If you have been at the top of the mountain and suddenly you have to climb back up the mountain because you don't have the best car, it's going to be emotional for him to control. But despite all the rumours, speculation and discussion, it does appear that Lewis Hamilton will be returning. That's after he broke his 8-week social media silence. He has now returned to Instagram for the first time since the day before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He posted a picture of himself at the Grand Canyon alongside the caption, "I've been gone, now I'm back." The 37-year-old did not comment on whether he would be returning to F1, but his reappearance on social media could be a sign he will be back in the paddock come March and the start of the 2022 season. The post saw a huge amount of engagement on social media with a staggering 22 impressions within the initial 5 hours of it going up. F1 analyst Vincenzo Landino took to Twitter to demonstrate how important Hamilton is to the sport. He wrote, "The F1 official channel has seen only 2.5 million impressions and far less engagement than Sir Lewis. Lewis is seeing a 4.64% follower engagement rate, and the F1 channel is seeing a 0.46% engagement rate. And just to make it all the more sweet for Hamilton, he has smashed Red Bull's post from December, which celebrated his rival Verstappen's victory. That post has currently got around 58.7 thousand likes and 20.8 thousand retweets. Hamilton's comeback one, meanwhile, is on a remarkable 426,000 likes and 78,000 retweets. Mercedes' Twitter account retweeted Hamilton's "I'm back" post while also adding a praying hands emoji. Then, a little while later, they posted a screenshot of Hamilton's name trending on social media while adding, "That's right." While Mercedes haven't officially confirmed Hamilton's return, it does suggest he'll be racing for the Silver Arrows in 2022. He's poised to partner George Russell, who will replace Valtteri Bottas following the Finns' move to Alfa Romeo. Official clarification of Hamilton's future is likely to only come once the FIA delivers the results of its investigation into the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Massey's job is on the line, with Mercedes openly critical of how he handled the chaos in the Middle East. All drivers this week are primed to meet with with their representatives of the governing body to discuss their thoughts on the matter, and what ultimately happens remains to be seen. Meanwhile, former driver Christian Albers wants F1 to cut out booing after fans jeered Hamilton during the frantic Abu Dhabi GP. Again, with qualifying, there was shouting, Albers told motorsport.com. In all the years that I have been active in motorsport, that has never happened. Once, in Austria, in the year that Barrichello let Schumacher pass. Motorsport is not like football. We are fans of everyone. Of course, a little more of Max Verstappen, but this does not belong in motorsport. I think it's really terrible. Albers also feels sympathy towards Hamilton, given how he lost the title in controversial circumstances. I felt for Lewis, he said. He had driven such a fantastic race, and then it comes down to a decision. A championship you can't do anything about, you can't influence. That's the worst, losing a championship like that. So what about Max Verstappen? This is also huge news for him. He now has the best indication yet that he will be renewing rivalries with Hamilton once more. And it's been a very busy time for Max, with many extra commitments now that he is the world champion. He's recently been nominated for the Laureus Award. He has followed in the footsteps of both Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher in being in contention to win the prize, having claimed the F1 title in 2021. He'll go up against some of sport's biggest names when it comes to scooping yet another accolade. And speaking on his official website, the 24-year-old thanked his Orange Army for all their support. First of all, a big thank you to the media for the nomination for the Laureus Sportsman of the Year award, he said. It's great to be nominated for this award after such an intense season. The biggest thank you goes to my team Red Bull Racing, who together with Honda gave me a winning car. As a team, we fought for years to improve and close the gap, and we finally succeeded. It's fantastic to be world champion. I also want to say a huge thank you to the fans who support me, because it's great to see the Orange Army around the world. Verstappen will face big competition when it comes to winning the prize, however. Novak Djokovic is also in contention, with the Serb winning 3 of tennis's 4 Grand Slams last year. However, he was unable to defend his Australian Open title this year after a bitter standoff with the authorities that ultimately led to his deportation. NFL icon Tom Brady has also been nominated, with the American recently announcing his retirement. Caleb Dressel and Eliud Kipchoge are also in the mix after shining in swimming and long-distance running respectively. And Bayern Munich striker Robert Lewandowski is another person up for the award after shining for the Bundesliga Giants last term. Meanwhile, Verstappen is currently preparing himself for the start of the new F1 season. And with the new campaign creeping closer, Helmut Marko has admitted he fears the Red Bull star retiring early if his intense rivalry with Hamilton continues. We were all at the limit, Marko told Auto Review. And you are also much more susceptible to the flu. Thank God some people only got the coronavirus after Abu Dhabi. Team principal Christian Horner amongst them. That was good timing. And Max also said he couldn't stand such an intensity anymore. He still wants to drive for a while, but if that's the case every year, then his career is limited. Marko's comments come just days after he expressed a belief that Verstappen would never join Mercedes. The Red Bull chief said earlier this week, "I do not think that Max will leave us then. The events at Silverstone have left too big a crack, especially with Joss. I think that makes him less likely to switch sides." The new F1 season is due to begin next month. The first race of the season is in Bahrain on Sunday, March the 20th, though the first practice session takes place 2 days before on March the 18th.